Hello and welcome. In this interview, we are going to be discussing about the land use management. My name is Kuda, and today I'm joined by Onward from Afrostain. Hello, Onward, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kuda, for inviting me to your show.
Yeah, so this is going to be about land use planning for farming in Zimbabwe. I understand that Afrostain is helping new farmers with that. So to start off our conversation, could you please introduce yourself and just give us a brief overview of what Afrostain does?
Well, thank you very much. Just to start by introducing Afrostain Farmtech as an organization. Afrostain Farmtech is an agribusiness and extension organization that has been formed specifically under the pillars of precision farming to make sure that farmers they understand what are the special things that they need to put into place so that they get maximum returns. Because of late we've realized that farmers they do have money for investment, they do have capital for investment into agribusiness, and also many farmers who are getting into business they are not farmers by profession, but they are farmers by investment because they have capital to invest into agriculture, but they don't have what it takes to be farmers who are getting maximum returns. So Afrostate is therefore making sure that farmers they get maximum returns by making sure that we start with the land use planning management as a service. Before you start to pull out your resources, you need to understand what are the things that you're supposed to focus on in terms of the best projects, in terms of the market that you're going to satisfy, in terms of the quantity that you're supposed to focus on, in terms of production, and also the quality of your land. Does it suit what you want to do? And that is when we employ the use of drone technology, remote sensing, and GIS, so that we apply the special technology to identify the potential that is hidden within your soil. So AfroState does the land use planning and management, which is analyzing the land, coming up with the best projects to do based on the capacity of the land, based on the market, based on the amount of money that the farmer is willing to get per month or per season or per year, and also the amount of money that you want to put on the land or that you want to invest on the farm. So we give you the best combination of enterprises and give you the cash flow so that you'll be able to see how much are you going to get from that project. That's number one. Then number two, we have the underground water potential survey, which is a special survey that is the best for identifying the best drilling sites on your land. In that regard, we are surveying the whole land, scanning the whole land using the drone technology by making sure that we identify the highest zones based on the site where most of the underground streams meet. That is when we say this is a high potential zone where you can drill a bore, and we match it with the project that you would want to do on the land. If you doesn't have enough water based on that survey, then we can recommend you some of the project that you can do that doesn't need much water, or even focusing on other projects that doesn't necessarily need bore water. Probably you can do potatoes or other horticultural crops, whereby you can use water from the dam or from the nearby river, depending on the land.
Okay.
Then we also have the farmer training, which is one of the best service that we provide. Farmer training specifically, we focus on training farmers, training the farm managers, training the farm employees, because we have realized that farmers they focus on maybe having this manager who is well versed with the project or themselves. But we are saying every person who is involved into the project, be it the manager, the farm worker, every person should be trained, understanding how to run a project so that even if the manager is not present on the site, the guys on the farm will be able to say, this is what we're supposed to do. And that is when we develop a standard of operation procedure so that every procedure is managed by the system. Every operation is managed by the system. You don't need to wait for one person to come That is when in Shona we say can disciple a national farmer, because we mainly need someone to do the task. But with the SOPs, we are saying the farm is being managed by a system. It doesn't need to be there at the site for operation to be done. That's why you see big companies, they are managing their business even if the owner is not even available outside the country or whatsoever, because they have systems that enable the business to be managed effectively. Then also we do the project management training to make sure that those project managers, they understand how to manage a project in terms of labor management, labor planning, to understand every aspect of the project management.
Okay.
And then, so these are the main three steps that we provide.
Okay. So our focus today is on land use management. I hope you're going to agree again to, come back again on the show and discuss about in-depth training and the other services that you offer. So let us look at how did Afrostain get started with land management for farmers in Zimbabwe? What was your aspirations on starting that?
Well, in a business, there are different reasons or why people they get into a business.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a problem that you feel like with your potential you'll be able to address it. So I wanted to believe that there was a problem on the market where farmers they are losing a lot of money because they don't understand how to invest in farming and what are the best projects that they are supposed to focus. That's why many people were deceived to do projects like the macadamia, doing 2 hectares of macadamia, thinking that you've created a best project that would give you the best income. But of late, you realize you are not getting much. So we are saying we managed to come up with the land use planning and management to help farmers to do the projects that give the best revenue, that give the best combination in terms of business, particularly because we've seen it how they failed to make more money because of those mistakes that are surrounded by poor planning. That is when we come up with the planning. And not only that, we also, even those we believe they are doing well, they are not actually tapping the maximum potential. Because if you look at maize, which is a traditional crop that I think you agree with me that is one of the easiest crops in terms of producing it, but our national average yield per hectare, that's 2 tons per hectare, 2.5 tons per hectare, and the break even for maize is 3 tons, which means we are already operating at a loss. So we wanted to eliminate all those misguided elements by making sure that each and every farmer know the capacity of the land. Then you try to match with the best project. So if you like what people do, everyone nowadays is an expert. You just go on the internet, you download, you watch some videos, then you come back and say, no, I saw some videos, I want to do piggery because I saw it's one of the best, because you saw it on YouTube. Then
Yeah.
when you try to put it on your farm, it doesn't come up very well. Why? Because your land doesn't accept that. Your land doesn't have the capacity to do that. The market that you're trying to satisfy, you don't even know what are the products that they need. What is the quantity, what is the quality, and what time do they need the product? You don't even know that. So we are giving a conscious decision to a farmer and say, we saw your land, we scanned it, we saw this is the amount of water that you can get from your wells. This is the potential if you are to take a water from the river. This is the arable land that you can focus on. These are the depth in terms of the soil. This is the quality of the soil. So finally, you can focus on these 2 or 3 projects. And in that way, you are satisfied because you matched with the land capacity, you matched with the market that is available, you matched with the way you are operating, you matched with the investment that you have, you matched with the outcome that you can get from that particular project. Just recently, I met another client who is coming from Karoi with about 10 hectares and said, I want to do macadamia. Why macadamia? Because they are easy, because I saw there's a better market in Brazil. I can export and make a lot of money. It's lucrative from the point where the farmer is trying to convince you. But when you sit down with the person and say, okay, fine, Do you know if you do macadamia per hectare, you can get so much?
Yeah.
And consider the area that you are producing, you are going to travel to Harare for how many kilometers? And you are going to deliver your product to the market, and this is the value that you can get. And all that discussion, the farmer said, no, I think I can do better, not from academia, maybe from horticulture, maybe from citrus fruits, or maybe from whatever, maybe livestock, because we have shown you what you can do from the land. So that is how we managed to come up with the plan so that we help farmers to understand what they can do and what they cannot do.
Okay. So, you know what? I just had, previous to this, I had a conversation with an agronomist. Okay. And one of the questions that I've asked them is that at which point should they engage you? So I want to ask you the same question again. At which point should a farmer, or rather, we say someone who wants to do farming as a business, should they engage you when they want to start farming projects?
The engagement is supposed to be in the beginning. When you want to start farming, before you start anything, you
Okay.
need to consult which crop can I go for, and
Okay.
how many hectares can I go for,
Okay.
and at what time can I start planting, and which is the best seed, which is the best fertilizer, and how can I amend my soil so that I can achieve maybe 50 tons of potatoes per hectare.
Okay.
This is the first thing is planning. Before you even start to buy your seeds, you have to engage your agronomist. You have to engage us as Afrostain and say, guys, I bought a land that I think I can utilize. So how best can you help me in knowing what can I do on my land? Then I
So,
would then say, no, look, we are supposed to start with understanding the potential that we have. That is when then we come to the site, we do our drone survey, we assess the water that we have and see, okay, the water that we are having, you can't irrigate more than 2 hectares. So you better put 1 hectare on this land under irrigation. And that's the analysis from the beginning. Even taking the soil to submit to the lab, and we got an assessment and analysis, which then say, if you want to do potatoes, cabbage, you're supposed to buy cereal blend, or you're supposed to buy compound C, or a vegetable blend, tobacco blend as my base of fertilizer. And that's the critical analysis from the soil that has been taken from the field. And it's a reflection of what you want to achieve. Then from there, you take a step of saying, if I want to put lime, how much kgs can I put per hectare, and what type of lime do I have to put? Is it dolomitic lime or caustic lime? Depending on what exactly is lacking in my soil. Then
okay.
you go to the top dressing fertilizer. What type of fertilizer am I supposed to put on my land, and what quantities am I supposed to put on my land, and what time? Then you go to other amendments in terms of foliar fertilizer that may be needed depending on what is lacking in the soil. You can be recommended to use different types of foliar fertilizers depending on what is exactly do you need to achieve, and also your soil. So the engagement is supposed to be in the beginning, because the challenge that is associated in this business, that when you see someone coming in and say, no, I wanted you to assist him, it means that person has tried several times and failed. Then you say, no, can you help me? And that one will have challenges, because we are trying to rectify some challenge that we have been facing, then coming up with the new proposal, which then it makes it difficult. So it's better we start from the beginning.
Okay. So now tell me something. As Afrostain, I want you to differentiate yourselves in terms of land use planning and management. How do you differentiate yourself between what you do in the work of an agronomist, or you work hand in hand? What's the difference?
Well, we work in hand, of course. That's true, because if you are consulting me and consulting other person how to produce maize,
Yeah.
the difference is the same. You get the same input, but what only differentiates us from others is on the technology part. But what exactly are you using to make decisions? You're using drone technology, mapping technology. We have different systems that we use in relation to mapping, so that we identify the potential that is lying within your land. So when we come to your site, we'll be able to say the carrying capacity of your farm is how many cows over the whole land that you want to utilize, based on the survey that we've done. the drone technology, the water survey, everything associated with technology. We are the master of that. And anything that we bring into practice, like the drone technology, it becomes a standard because we make sure that those who want to make the best out of their land, they take us, they take our technology, they utilize it, and we celebrate together after that.
Okay. So talking of drone technology, you've been talking about it, and there are people that I call the BBC, eh? Do you know what the BBC are? Do you? I will explain to you if you don't.
Yeah, you can talk about it.
Yeah, so the BBC, these are the born before computers, and they're talking about drone technology, this and that. So in simple words, can you explain the drone technology and what it does to land use management, land use planning?
Okay. The issue is about because when you are planning the land, you're supposed to move around the land and seeing which area is arable, which area is not, which area has got more grass, which area is not. Of which, if you are doing it physically, you are going to be tired with before even 10 hectares, and your results are going to be biased.
Okay.
And also, even if you move around 1 hectare only, still you are not able to move on each and every inch of that land. So we are saying with the drone technology, you are scanning the whole land. You are now assessing the land based on that because you've got an eagle eye view of that land. We are seeing it from the top, and you'll be able to see each and every inch of the land, and every recommendation that you are going to give is going to be top notch. And when you say let's focus on potatoes, it is an informed decision. If you say let us do 100 cow unit on this 500-hectare farm, it is from an informed decision from the carrying capacity point of view.
Okay.
So that technology is going to give you that perspective.
That perspective. So now I wanted to simplify the term land use planning. Okay. So when you're talking of land use planning, probably I was saying that you get to the land and then you say, here put the house for the workers, here put the farm, here put this, put that. Can you just explain in your own definition if someone is going to ask you what is land use planning?
Okay, so for the land use planning, if we are going to say what are the deliverables after the service, number one is going to be the land use planning map, which indicates where exactly are we going to put the farmhouse, where exactly are we going to put workers' cottages, where exactly are we going to put crop fields, where exactly are we going to put paddocks, you know, the handling facility for cattle, your storage sheds, your bulk sheds, your roads, your gates, everything that you need on the farm is shown on that map.
Oh,
Then
okay.
number two, you're going to receive a blueprint that you're going to use as an investment plan that will then tell you exactly why we're supposed to focus on beef only on this farm, why we need to put silage, why we need to get this done. You are now getting the plan that you are going to use as an investment plan with the implementation plans, the strategies, this that you then need to execute your land use planning. They are going to be documented in that report.
Okay. Now, talking of land use, I've once visited a farm in Zimbabwe, and this farm was quite big, was quite huge. And I compared the size of the farm and then the activities that were being done at the farm. It was more of they are not even using even 2% of the farm, and the farm is quite big. What is the recommended size if someone wants to do a farming project? The smallest recommended size, if I must say. I'm looking at a situation whereby some people may want to use their rural homes, and some people, do you say that people should know buy farms or make use of their rural homes? What is the minimum recommended size if someone wants to do a project?
At the end of the day, it's not about the land size.
Okay.
It's about utilizing the land. Because if I was going to be allocated with 2 hectares, that was going to be enough for me to generate the revenue that I want. Because imagine if I put greenhouses for 1 hectare, then I focus on tomatoes, I focus on flowers, I would generate more than 1 million from that 1 hectare per year. If I'm going to be given 300 hectares, I would then magnify my potential by focusing on beef breeding. I can do more than 1,000 on that particular land, but I won't be able to do 1,000 animals breeding on 1 hectare. But on 1 hectare, I can do greenhouse. I can put fowls which accommodate more than 100,000 broilers. And after every 6 weeks, I can generate a minimum of 70,000 US dollars. And per year, I can do 7 cycles. I already am close to 1 million on 1 hectare, because this is the potential that I've seen. If I have 500 hectares of arable land, I can buy center pivots. I can do maize production. I can do it, and I can still generating more money. But I can't do maize on 1 hectare for commercial purposes. Maybe I can do green mealies. I can do sweet corn. I can do cabbages. I can do butternut. I can do tomatoes, because that is the potential that I have on 1 hectare. So at the end of the day, it's about the priority. What are you prioritizing on that land? And it has to be informed based on the capacity, based on the potential. Because if you are getting into a farming business, you need to take it as a business in the perspective that you want to make money from that land. So if you have 1 hectare, you say I want to get maybe 10,000 per month. So what project should I do that can give me 10,000? Same applies when you're having 500 hectares. With 500 hectares, you say I want to get 50,000 per month. Then you are now coming back and say, what project can I do that can give me 50,000 per month?
Okay.
Yeah, in that way, you will be able to utilize land effectively. Not just saying I have 50 hectares, I have 500 hectares, I have 1 hectare, but what exactly are you doing on that land? Go
Okay.
to countries like America, go to countries like Mexico, and go and look at how intensive are they. On 1 hectare, someone is generating millions of dollars because they know how to utilize capacity of the land.
Okay, so according to you, you are saying that if someone has got access to a piece of land that is just a hectare, it can be used to maximum capacity and produce very good results, yeah?
Very, very good results. It's about making informed decisions. It's about understanding investment in agribusiness, what projects to do, when to plant, when to harvest, which market to satisfy. But the challenge is our farmers, they start with the production. They are production oriented. They focus on production. That's why you see middlemen, they are everywhere, because they identify that gap. Farmers, they are not focusing on the market. They come in with the market. So market-oriented production is going to be smart to make more revenue.
Okay. So could you know what? I've looked at your Facebook page and I'm impressed with what you have done. And because your contact came as, as a recommendation when we were discussing, and then someone shared a video of, I think it was you, where you were explaining something. Now I went to check your Facebook, your website. I was like, wow, this is really amazing. Can you please share one of your proudest moments while working with Afrostain? And it could be probably a story of a client that you helped, and you're like, wow, we have just done a good job here, and because the client is happy with the result that we produce for them.
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, I have a very proud moments. I have much of them since beginning this journey.
Yeah,
But those moments, they are around seeing a farmer starting from $0,
yeah.
then jump into maybe 1,000 per month. I have a lot of farmers that I've helped from zero to hero, and I'm very excited. So in this particular, I want to mention one of the farmers that we helped in Matebeleland. That farmer had got about 50 hectares. So they were struggling with their piggery because of not having sufficient water. They're also failing because they don't understand the project itself, how to manage it. They were having some losses. So we got there, we assessed, and we realized they were facing some problems regarding to human capital. They don't have people who are able to manage the project. Their vision was not well passed to the employees, And also they were not having enough water for their pigs. So ended up buying water from Blawayo CBD, from other guys with bores, then come in on the farm. So they were not, it was not balancing in terms of the costs. So that is when we did the water survey. Actually, there were 7 dry wells. Then we have our survey and we recommended 2 sites. Fortunately, they managed to get water at 80 meters at each of the sites. And that water was sufficient enough to manage the pig guard. Then we take their employees for training. We did a 1-week training to make sure that they understand how to manage the project. And I'm excited that today they are making enough money to sustain the farm and even to invest further. Last time when I checked, they were having 30 sow units. Now they're saying they want to expand to 100 sow units before the end of 2024, which is a reflection of how powerful is having the right people on the site. So that was the positive feedback that we did with that client. Then other also clients that we have helped from starting, some of them, they were already in the business, but they were not making positive cash flows. And we say, no, we need to change here, we need to change here, we need to focus on this. And eventually they get something better.
Okay. So now I want to talk about, I've been spying your Facebook actually. I'm going to go back to that Facebook page and, I want to talk about your expansion to other countries. I saw a Facebook post that you posted when you helped a client in Zambia, I think. Um, yeah, to talk about your international markets, how you have helped other countries to be successful.
Well, we have been in several countries. We have been in Zambia. We even attended the Zambian Commercial and Agricultural Show to showcase our products and services. And we've done a lot of work in Zambia. Mumbwa, we've done 2 or 3 jobs. We've done in Mukushi. We've done some other farms there. Yeah, so in Zambia we've been there several times. Then in Botswana we've been there. In South Africa we've been there. We've been also in Mozambique. Yeah, so these were the major farms that countries that we've been, and we are trying to expand into the whole African market, not only the SADC region that we've been satisfied for the past 5 years. So we are now developing to other African countries, developing the same services, because the challenge that we are facing, we believe they are the same challenge that other countries are also facing as well. Then
Yeah,
in terms of training, we have done a lot of online trainings, and that one has been international, because even from Europe, we've trained a lot of aspiring farmers. Even in Africa, I've been training a lot of farmers. So the idea is to grow bigger in the African market, then eventually in the whole world.
So now, from your experience, let's say someone is looking through the fence, and this person could be in the diaspora or a farmer in Zimbabwe, or they could be anywhere in the world, and they're thinking, should I start farming? Is it something that is profitable, or it's a waste of time? And this person, when someone is looking through the fence, what advice would you give them? Should they take on or should they ignore it? What can you say?
Farmers in the diaspora, they should start their farming business with pride,
Yeah.
because they've got an opportunity to get investment from where they're working or from the business that they're doing. So it means they can send it back, they can remit it for business. What is only needed is to have the right team that can help them to develop their business in the absence. And we are saying we are there to help them to develop that system. We are there to develop the business that is sustainable, that can run in the absence. We don't want a situation whereby they send money, how they're working out there. They're sending money, then eventually they come and see there's nothing that has been developing. And we don't want that. We want to develop a system whereby they send money back for investment. Then eventually we can send money to where they are. Where can now they bring different equipment to Zimbabwe using the money that is generated in Zimbabwe. And that is good for the economy, that is good for the farmer, that is also good for the private companies. So
Okay.
we encourage them to invest from where they are. They should not be worried about How is it going to run in my absence? They don't necessarily need to be there for the business to strive, because it's about building the team that understand the vision that we have, having a system that can manage the business even if the manager or supervisor is not available.
Okay.
So we encourage them to do so.
Okay. So what sort of guarantees do you, as a company, as Afrostain, do you have on clients when you engage with them in terms of results, when they fully engage your services? I understand that some of the clients you may give them advice and then take your advice up to a certain level and then you have poor results. But let's say someone fully engages your service. What sort of guarantees? Are there any guarantees anyway?
Sorry, can you come again?
So what sort of guarantees do you have for your clients that if you work with us, we are going to make sure that we produce the results that you need?
Okay, thank you. Our results are positive because our main goal is to achieve maximum returns
Yeah.
from the agricultural activities that are going to be done. So what would we expect is the change of the mindset. That is the first thing.
Yeah.
Understanding that farming is a business. We don't want saying, I'm passionate about this project, I want to do it. When it is not about business, let us not bring passion in question. If you're passionate about it and you can monetize that passion, then you're okay. But you say, I want to utilize land, but in a passionate way, but no money is coming in. No. So we want to change that mindset. And also the mindset that I can't do this because I'm not available. Or I want to do this after I've retired. No, why? Why can't you just start it now while you are still fresh and be able to manage it as a business? So the change of mindset is very important. Then number two, the training, obviously equipping people about how to run things successfully. We don't want just jump into a project but we don't know how to run it, then eventually leave it. We don't want that.
Yeah. Okay.
So the training is going to equip them how to run things. So the feedback is about the mindset, number one. Then number two, the understanding, developing an understanding of how to run things professionally and productively.
Absolutely. So now we're almost coming to the end of our session. What I want you to do is, could you please, if maybe I've not asked you a certain question and some of our guests, they want to reach out to you to ask more questions, how can they do that? If you can share your contacts, it can be your website, your Facebook, your phone number, whichever you are okay with sharing.
Okay, thank you very much. It was indeed a very good conversation. So if anyone wanted to reach to Afrostain Farmtech, you can go to our website, which is www.afrostain.co.zw. www.afrostain.co.zw. Then you can also send a WhatsApp message to 071 268 9214. 071 268 9214.
Okay.
They can also check our Facebook page. They can also check our Instagram, Afrostain Farmtech.
Afrostain Farmtech on Facebook and on Instagram. So in less than a minute,
Yes.
please share something that you say, Kuda. You should have asked me this, but why did you not ask me this? This is an open question. Share what you want to share, say word of encouragement, anything about land use planning for those that want to venture into farming.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so the interesting question maybe was going to be around precision farming because it's a big word. So from what I've been saying, probably it's 20% of the precision farming aspects. So around precision farming technology, we are having also drone survey results. Number one, we have the crop monitoring, because we want you to be able to understand what is in your field, what is your potential yield, what is affecting your crops, what is the nutrition deficient, without moving around the field. So we just put the drone and it surveys and it gives us the result. This portion is affected maybe by too much water. This place is affected by lack of nitrogen. There's nitrogen deficient on this place. So that when we put a drone to spray, we are focused on those areas that has been mentioned. We are putting more chemical on those places. So in terms of precision farming, we have that crop monitoring. We also have drone spraying. We have also drone farm mapping, so that you'll be able to understand what exactly do you need to do on the land precisely, without even walking around the field, wasting chemicals, wasting a lot of labor, So that is around precision farming.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm going to ask you one last question, less than 30 seconds again, we have about less than a minute left. How affordable are your services compared to the results that they get?
Very affordable.
Very.
What you need to be focused on and worried of is the results that you get. You need to be worried about what is going to be delivered, the quality of the work that you expect.
Absolutely.
Imagine you know the investment that you're supposed to make. You are given an investment plan that you're going to use for the rest of your life. Even if you die today, you die in peace. You rest in peace. Why? Because you know that you have put everything in place. Your guys that are going to come and reconsider investment, it's going to be easier for them, because you have the plan which is written, you have everything that is put on place, so that they are not going to be worried about what I'm going to do, what my dad used to do. They're just focusing on what is already there. That's number one. Then number two, you now have the plan in terms of what exactly do I need to put and what exactly should I expect in return. Everything is documented, everything is on your investment. So you're now taking informed position rather than just investing based on perception, based on what people are saying on the internet, but you invest based on the capacity and what you can do basically from your land. So that's the part that you can do. So in terms of